All right, welcome to the Songcast.com presentation on Breaky CPK. Joining me is Toby Wankanome, community shoutcaster here, sitting next to me. And this is the DYA Invitational event. 8 teams are here from all over the world. And this is a round-robin stage, day 1 here for the event. As... What's up? What's going on?
We're starting. They're laughing at you, but for no particular reason.
Of course they are.
You're right.
They love my intro that much.
You see it on the screen. Don't see it on the screen. Now you see it on the screen.
Okay,
we're going to play Do-Si-Do with this kind of thing.
Okay.
We have Ice.
Yes.
They just come off a win. Obviously, we're still in bracket 1. We were in bracket 1 before. Ice just came off a beautiful, beautiful win.
Yes.
Trying out new things like a bit of an Ophelia pick and trying out something different. So we'll be interested to see what happens in the bands and picks this time around. Online Kingdom came off a bit of a harsh time. They didn't get a tri-lane work quite right for them. The Hellbringer on the top lane still worked nicely. The Chipper in the middle lane wasn't too bad as well, but it was just that tri-lane that really failed it for them. And maybe this time around they're going to look to actually get on top. They need to get on top. Both these teams need to win this game if they want to keep themselves in a good position here for the DYA.
You know, you always hear the term, it's a must-win game. I mean, honestly, like we were talking about earlier, it's a 3-game round robin. You played every team once in your group, and then the top 2 move on. So it's so few games, so few teams. You have to win. You have to look to win every game, especially a team like Online Kingdom, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
They're 0-1 coming into this, albeit they did have to face EG with the first one, a very tough matchup. But again, Ice is definitely no slouch either. With that said, as well, want to make the point. Ice is not playing with their full roster. They actually, Josh, unfortunately, was not able to make it due to health concerns and health reasons. So with that said, they actually had to pick up a ringer here from Singapore. The first game, though, I was talking to Swindelmillens, like I said earlier, and he apparently didn't do too bad. So they're confident with him, and we'll see how he performs.
Yeah, we definitely will. Obviously, they managed to win the first match, so he's gelled pretty well with the team. Can it be tested later on, of course? Obviously, they're going to have to go up against harder teams later on, and it could all end in terrible, terrible tears and crying and fetal positions in the corner. But we'll find out how they do actually go. We'll jump ourselves into the bands and picks. You're seeing it up on your screen right now anyway. So they've removed up Chipper. Looks like Thunderbringer's been taken out. Also Soul Sealer, Forsaken Archer. Devourer has been removed as well as Pharaoh. I'm wondering if something was said about the Devourer solo.
Well, the thing with Devourer as well, I mean, yes, you do have a point. Obviously, he was played last game, and I'm sure he did a fine job. He's a very powerful solo mid hero. He has been a hero, though, that is ban-worthy against a lot of teams. And Ice, in general, is one of those teams, especially in the American scene. They do have there's a lot of solid Devourer players, especially solo mid. So, even though they used it last game, something tells me that might have not been the whole reason. I mean, just in general, he is a very powerful hero. And let me actually double-check on that.
Something we were talking about before this tournament actually started was the fact that Dr. Repulsor, last night, he was actually being picked a hell of a lot as a big hero for the practice sessions. But you said he was actually normally banned.
Yes.
And he's managed to get into a whole bunch of games. He's just now being picked up here by the Ice guys. But he's in this lineup once again. Yeah. Why is that happening here?
Well, the thing is, I made that point earlier. Again, lately, it seems like it has been shifting. Yes, he usually is a permaban hero every single game. We see Dr. Repulsor ban. But, there has been times lately, and this is just another case of that, where one team is confident. Obviously, Online Kingdom, they knew that Ice has the first pick. So if you're not going to ban Dr. Repulsor, you got to expect that there's a very good possibility that he will be first picked. With that said, you have a confident strategy. The most effective crowd control ability against Dr. Repulsor is a silence. Bubbles is a perfect hero for that.
Yeah, and obviously because he can get straight in there right on top of it. He can also get there a lot faster. We saw it in the last game as well. Pebbles was picked up by EG, and they use it perfectly with our Behemoth Man to actually get those fissures in perfectly the right place with a simple toss towards an enemy, and everything just went arse over tit after that point. But we do actually have Pebbles and Bubbles picked up here for Online Kingdom. I'm really happy to see Tundra in the lineup.
Yes.
I love to see Tundra play because I really like to see a player push to his limits to actually try and micro these things properly. Obviously, you do have the Beast with a slow. You've got the ability to fly out the Hawk, have a bit of a look around. But just not only that, Tundra is just one of those heroes you've got to be swishing all the time. And then, of course, you put him with, I think it's Puzzle Box in Hon?
Yeah, it's a fairly popular item. I mean, there's also like Portal Key is a fairly popular item on him. But Puzzle Box is a very that is a big item on him. So, but yeah, he's a very, very powerful middle solo player hero. We have seen him a couple times in side lanes, but not as successful. So you would expect with the Tundra pickup that he will be looking to solo mid. Of course, we are talking about Ice here again. We talked about last game. They did kind of throw a curveball in their strategy, so who knows. But I'll say this much about Tundra. I too am a big fan of him because he really encourages very aggressive play with a scouting ability with that Shiver. So he sends that out there, allows him to set up some awesome ganks, as well as prevents some awesome ganks if you can micro it correctly. So very good pickup there. As far as Online Kingdom goes, again, we talked about Bubbles already, but they went with Pebble. I hate that. But we got the Pebbles combination, Pebbles and Bubbles, and then we got Flint Beastwood and Magnus to follow it up. But Pebbles and Bubbles, the first two pickups, very aggressive heroes there. Of course, kind of similar in the sense that if they take over early, they can be really powerful.
Yeah, they are. I like the fact how Online Kingdom have left themselves open as well. They're going to see the entire roster here for Ice, and then they can pick their last hero coming up. As we just saw, Electrician and Engineer was actually our last two picks coming out here for Ice. Electrician, I believe, actually worked very, very well in the last game for them. TSOG just really found no way to actually counter it by actually having that solo mid, and the Electrician just came in and everything didn't go nicely for them. But you throw it to Online Kingdom now. Obviously, they got a little bit of time. I say very, very little amount of time as it's counting down here to actually pick up their last hero. But they've already got support. They need a carry. Who are they going to get? That's the biggest question.
Well, yeah, at this point, it's looking over it now, more than likely a tri-lane support hero for that Flint Beast with tri-lane, because Pebbles and Bubbles, both very powerful solo heroes. However, Online King, again, you can never be too certain. That would be the obvious, and again, tri-lane strategy very popular, and it seems to be the go-to metagame strategy. But at the same time, we are at a big LAN event. Online Kingdom, they need this win. But we see right there they go with Witch Slayer. So they do go with the support player to fit in a tri-lane. So we'll more than likely, again, see the Flint Beast with tri-lane with a Magnus Witch Slayer support. Pebbles probably solo mid, and then Bubbles solo bottom, depending on where they want to send the tri-lane, where they're confident with. Yeah,
the very, very dangerous thing at this point, though, is the fact that Online Kingdom can't let this game go late. If they let this game go late, then Flint Beastwood, unless he has one beefy ass, he's going to have trouble. They're going to have a lot of trouble. Their late game is very, very thin. But Bubbles is pretty strong. And if Pebble gets a good start, he'll be a good ganker. But you get him late into the game, if anything gets on the back of Dr. Repulse, if Electrician gets stronger, it's really going to be hard to actually combat this Ice team later on. But early on in the piece, Online Kingdom, they've got to be aggressive.
I love. I just saw the final pick over there for Ice. By the way, I do agree with you. Yes, early game, Flint Beastwood is a very good late game hero. But with that said, their makeup with Pebbles, with Bubbles, like you're talking about, it definitely makes a lot of sense that they want to take advantage of that and look to maybe finish this sooner than later, of course. However, as far as Ice is concerned, they finished it with Engineer and Electrician. Engineer, he's kind of on and off. His ultimate, a very powerful tool. Whether or not he obviously the Tinker, great for tower pushing, tower defending, and he's just a great landing hero as well as turret, very powerful. They didn't nerf it recently. That turret, it's been so many things have happened to it. It's just not even funny. But no, so it was nerfed recently. But the Electrician pickup, by the way, that is Brized. So obviously a lot of people that are tuning in and know Brized, the famous Electrician player, definitely made it a very, very powerful hero when he played it. I'm excited to see it, and I'm sure the community is as well.
Yeah, that definitely will be. We'll run very, very quickly here, as I believe one of the players just had to jump out for a second to relieve himself. Slightly. I just realized we're now back on the back.
Yeah, I didn't even mean to do that, but what the hell? We'll keep it like that, right?
We'll go with it anyway. But just to actually run through, Overpower just reminding us there's actually a competitive game.
Yes.
As we're coming back, you can't be thinking about what you've got to tinkle in later.
No.
So he's heading back up onto the main stage. We'll run very, very quickly through the Online Kingdom side of things, just to see who's actually playing what. So we'll actually have Semi-Jew, he'll be playing as our Magnus this evening. Magic going once again as things are actually just starting to blur up here. Magic is actually our Pebbles for this one. Black will be playing as Flint Beastwood. Overpower will be playing as our Bubbles, and last but not least, Akka will be playing as our supporting Witch Slayer.
That is true, and as far as the Legion team is concerned, like I talked about, Ramza Biluv, I don't even know how to pronounce that anyways. It's Bryce, so that's all that matters. We got Tagosu on Engineer. Now, Purify, he's playing Dr. Repulsor. That is their ringer that we were talking about earlier, so really curious to see how he performs, and it kind of shows you how confident Ice is in him, because Dr. Repulsor, you figure with the ringer, they might just throw him on a support like a Glacius or something and be like, okay, you just get your aura and you'll be fine. But like I talked about earlier as as well. The first game against TSOG, they actually found him to be a very solid player. He fit well, and they're giving him putting his hands on Dr. Repulsor, Jaw playing Tundra, and Swindle Melons, of course, on Slither. So we are still on this pause, but yeah, very powerful lineup. With that said, normally you wouldn't say Electrician. Here's the thing. I mean, in the past, he was a great ganker, great support player, but ever since Bryce, made him what he is, he's kind of even a semi-carry style hero as well, and he can put out a lot of damage. An excellent laning hero. I'm not sure, what to expect, though. I guess we're going to see a tri-lane. I mean, Electrician, Engineer, Slither, and then have Tundra and Dr. Repulsor solo. I don't know, though. We'll see what they make happen.
It kind of looks perfect. Obviously, just to reiterate for everyone at home and people who are actually here live here in Singapore, we're not actually strat calling. Obviously, we won't tell any of the lanes. We can only commentate what both the teams know due to the fact that players can actually hear us.
Yeah.
So we're just going to basically let you guys know that one in case you actually see something which you think, why aren't they saying something? That would actually be why.
Yeah, so again, just keep that in mind when you are watching. Of course, it's unfortunately something that we have to deal with, but that helps the land event as well. And it's as we are okay. So it looks like no,
there's a set coming out from Engineer.
We thought we were going to go, but then all of a sudden we had another. Wait a second. So okay, apparently Online Kingdom is ready now, and we should be good to resume this game any second now. So again, Online Kingdom versus Ice here. Ice is not tagged up, but they're on the Legion team over there. Ice is 1-0. Online Kingdom 0-1 coming into this. It's a round-robin style tournament for the first round. Even one loss is huge. Online Kingdom obviously already has that, so a big match as we keep on reiterating. We are all ready, so...
All we need to do is get them to push the resume
There we
button.
go. Okay.
There we go. Countdown goes, and
Somebody
3, 2, 1, we're finally rolling here. So, yes. Ice versus Online Kingdom. Both teams need to win. Let's see who's going to get it.
And we're back to a pause. All right, so...
It's overly official, this game.
Oh, that's funny. Online Kingdom, by the way, again, there's been a little bit of confusion still about this in the competitive scene. Online Kingdom, formerly known as KD Gaming. The new KD Gaming, well... I won't get into that, but they're formerly known as Dirty Mind. But yeah, this is the formerly known as KD Gaming team. Obviously, you should be able to tell that from the player names as well. Anyways, but a player that you might recognize is perhaps missing from the lineup is, in fact, of course, Kebab. He actually did leave the team recently, though, to go back to Dota and just other adventures. So he isn't part of the team anymore, at least from my understanding. But, of course, still a very, very powerful team, even without him. And they're just fine.
Yeah. No, they will be. Actually not quite sure what the hold-up is this time. It was just a quick pause going again, so hopefully the boys will spam it up in chat for why this actually happened, and we can get rolling.
Yeah, one of these, usually when you have a pause like this, especially after a pause like that, or a restroom pause, technical issues. That's all you can figure, so maybe someone's having an issue with their keyboard or mouse or something. But shouldn't be a latency issue, because, again, they're on a LAN server after all, and we're at a LAN event, so you can't necessarily use the old server advantage excuse. That's always a good thing about this as well. We're trying to figure out, as you can see. But so, theoretically, Ice wins this. They go 2-0, and they're matched up with EG in their third game. Of course,
That's
EG
true.
playing TSOG right now. It's very likely, in that scenario, they could be 2-0, and they would both be guaranteeing themselves moving on to the next round no matter what. So
That's true. Like TSOG is currently playing right now.
Yeah.
Little do they know, the result of this match up here is going to decide what actually happens to them.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And we were talking about it earlier as well. If it so happens to be a three-way tie, which definitely is a possibility, we decided, and amongst the players as well, they all agreed on it. Average hero kills per minute is how it's going to be determined. It encourages aggressive play, and it's just a way to go about it. So that's what we decided on. So if it so happens, average hero kills per minute is going to be the determinant in terms of who moves on to the next round in a three-way tie.
Yeah, it will be. And I really do like Online Kingdom's chance. They know it as a team. I think that's what's really influencing their picks as well. They need to have a ganking side. They need to get that rate up in case something goes horrendously wrong. They win this game and then they battle up between TSG and that's it. What's going to happen from that one? We need to get the high kill ratio per minute. It's got to get up there. What are we going? KRM? Kill ratio
per minute. That could work. Yeah.
We're now creating new tones.
Put that in the
it's
stat
great.
book.
Is the lane's still waiting to come off here as he actually hit the we've already hit the 0 mark, so the creeps will actually start spawning now, moving themselves out into the lanes, which will of course force the heroes to actually show themselves. Been having a bit of a wander around with all the heroes at the moment, but none have actually displayed each other to the opposition just yet.
Well, we did see Legion team spotted the illusion rune picked up by Pebbles and showing it off right here. It looks like Dr. Repulsor here as well for Legion team. So again, we are seeing Purify, the ringer for Team Ice here, playing solo middle as Dr. Repulsor. So again, they have a lot of confidence in him, and that's not something you do to a player that you really don't have a lot of confidence in. So that is good to see, and good teamwork being used right there. In terms of the other lanes, at the top lane we have Tundra going against Magmus right now, but obviously Flint beats it up there. So right now it's a 2 versus 1 in this case. So yeah, really interesting early laning phase here. It's nothing necessarily set in stone, set in stone, I'm sure, but we'll see how it follows through.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see like how all these lanes actually go. Obviously, with the double lane, Witch Slayer's now joined up here in the middle lane, so we've got ourselves an Engineer versus Dr. Repulsor. When they decide to push, there's going to be a lot of damage that's going to come out from those guys, so they'll be very, very open for it. What I'm really worried at the moment is the Online Kingdom bottom lane. Obviously, you got Electrician. Now, he loves to gank absolutely everything, and Slither was showing himself down there before as well. They want to keep that farm going up there, and because if you get a farm on Electrician, it doesn't matter how good you are, it's so hard to bring him down.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Especially ever since they changed this whole mana shield, where it's now an AOE damage type of ability. Again, that's why Bryce, started playing it in the first place and made it such a powerful hero. And a lot of people like to suggest that he's the sole reason why it even got nerfed in the first place. But interesting talent build, by the way. It's not something we look at too often, but again, on a newer hero, we just don't see a lot. Electrician, he's choosing to go energy absorption and then stats. So staying away from. Now he actually picked up 1 level electric shield. So curious to see if he keeps on going into those stats, or if he just builds up those 2 abilities, and at least you would expect maybe 1 level static grip. Again, though, I guess you can't necessarily expect that, because he is playing more of a carry style, farm style Electrician. And with that said, if he is planning to sit in the lane for a long time, may choose not to go with the static grip at least early on. But we see him going 1 versus 1 against Bubbles right now, just back and forth harassment. But obviously with the partner being nearby from Electrician that showed himself earlier in Slither, Bubbles seems to be playing pretty passive himself.
Yeah, he does. He's like, there's only so much you can do. I'm loving this little battle here with Tundra up here on the top lane. We had Magmas hanging around there, and of course Flint Beast was just been farming whatever he possibly can that lane. But Tundra just using a Hawk, making sure he's got vision in case he's going to get ganked from the side. You don't want to get yourself caught out, especially when you're going up against a dual lane and you're all by yourself. You've got to stay on top of your enemy, keep your tabs on them, and it's really it's basically a cheap ward. It's a cheap movable ward to actually use. So it's really great to see them. And now Flint Beast would force to fall back here. Tundra's going to get a little bit more farm, and things get rested up just that little bit further as Witch Slayer's picked up the illusion rune, goes straight for the Gravestun right on Dr. Repulsor, but he's not even phased, turns himself around, and then gets a couple of hits going off there. But he has Engineer in his midst, so there's not much problem. He always has support.
Yeah, so obviously rune control is always a big factor, and right now Online Kingdom has control of the early runes, only 2 spawning so far. You're going to throw a Graveyard Sun on Dr. Repulsor. Out comes the Stalagmites as well. The turret's there, trying to do some damage, and slow him a bit. It is going to be enough. Out comes the auto attack proc from Dr. Repulsor. 1 more auto attack will do it. Yes, he gets the kill. Bloodlust kill for the Legion team. Great job by Ice right there. Here comes a stun from Engineer now on top of Witch Slayer. Witch Slayer can try to run away. Throws out the Graveyard Stun and a couple of auto attacks, and it is going to be enough to scare them off. But just like that, we have our Bloodlust kill. Took it a little bit of a while, 3.5 minutes into the game, but finally getting it. Good back and forth action there.
Yeah, that was absolutely awesome. You could hear it from Ice too. They were just screaming out that happy. They got that first blood, and Dr. Repulsor, what a play, just pulling him back towards the ledge. Sometimes he actually glitched them up the ledge as well. You got to be careful of that one if that happened. He even threw the trap down for when that was going to happen. Bubbles came in just a little bit too late, and he was going to try and get a little bit of a kill in the end, just moving himself back just that little bit further. But everything's going to be fine. Looks like Witch Slayer as well as Engineer just trading a couple of blows between each other. There's another pause game coming out here, so we'll have a couple of minutes to actually talk here as Slither just runs away from Bubbles down there on the bottom lane. But it looks like Hotkeys is just having a bit of issue. This actually happened for Online Kingdom last time. This time, though, it's thrown over to Ice.
Yeah, again, like you said, Online Kingdom, they are coming off that loss to EG, and so you know their emotions are high right now. They know that they need to win this. They lose here, there's still a chance. Like I talked about earlier, but it would be very, very, very rare. So they're definitely going to be giving it their all. But right now, it's just a very good start for Ice, like you said, with that Bloodlust kill. Looks like we are going to be resuming. The interesting thing right here, again, it's always not a hero we see at all, really. But Bryce picking up Electrician here, and again, for the player that he is, he's farming with it at the bottom lane. And from the looks of it, doing a pretty good job. He right now has a Ring of the Teacher early on, so good added a little bit of damage as well as some armor when needed, and of course the mana regeneration. That kill on Pebbles, by the way, a very ideal hero that you want to get a Bloodlust kill on, of course, slowing him down as much as possible. We talked about that in the pregame. Both him and Bubbles, you don't want them to get out of hand, and right now for Ice, that's happening, because obviously we talked about Bubbles playing the bottom lane solo. He really is kind of going up against a 1 versus 2, and then Pebbles being killed right there, albeit his creep score may not be horrible, that obviously slowed him down a lot.
Oh, top lane looks like Tundra's in a bit of trouble. He's already got Surge, and Flint Beast was doing every possible can. If he was level 6, that would have been over. But Tundra just getting himself out there. He threw the shards out in there, and they saw the opportunity to do a little bit of damage while not actually getting a hell of a lot of comeback from that one. But in the end, Magnus, Flint Beastwood didn't pull off the kill, but Tundra brought slightly close to death.
Yeah, that was really close up there. But again, as you mentioned, getting away now 5 minutes into the game. Still remaining a 1-0 hero kill advantage in favor of Ice. That Bloodlust kill happening in the middle lane, of course, on Pebble. Speaking of the middle lane, once again, Dr. Repulsor, always definitely a hero that you want to keep your eye on. He has that potential to just, as soon as he gets around level 7, level 8 type area, as long as he has an early game decent farm, he can start setting up a lot of
Electrician's
kills.
actually having a crack at Bubbles too, pulling him in. Can Slither catch up in time? I don't think there's anything more. They got one little burst. Can they actually hold him back? Bubbles still retreating back. Only level 3. He's taking a lot of damage. They might even dive the tower this one. They do it as well. One Toxic Ward jumps in front, but the kill does go to Electrician.
That's the power of Electrician right there. He has his boots of speed, and Bubbles knows he's in a lot of trouble. And, even though Slither really didn't do too much there other than a couple of wards that he put out, he missed his spit, by the way, so it didn't even get the extra slow from that or the damage. But just that AoE from Electrician. I was talking about this earlier. Interesting to see how he builds it. He does go level 3 Electric Shield right now, level 2 Energy Absorption, so passing over his ultimate, of course. But that Electric Shield is just basically a walking mock of brilliance that you have from very early on in the game. So obviously a very, very powerful tool. Yes, you do lose mana if auto-attacked, but in that case, that was the last thing he was worrying about, obviously. He was just worrying about the damage, and sure enough, he did quite a bit of it.
Yeah, it was just so well played. And you're right, he's just an awesome hero just like that. And that shield, the amount of damage you can do just by being there is just so powerful. Looks like top lane as well. We still see Flint Beastwood doing what he can. Good to see him actually finishing Steam Boots by 6 minutes in there. So boost up the attack rate, boost up the speed. That's what he needs. And he needs to really get on top of Tundra up there on the top lane too. Tundra, for me, is still controlling it a lot, even with this obvious pull which is happening up here on the top lane. There's only so much you can actually do. And Tundra knows he can't go after it. If he does, he's just going to get stuffed over because he doesn't know what support's waiting inside the trees. And now he's actually throwing the call out there, having a bit of a go at Magnus. He won't get it though. He does actually finish off the creep wave, but TP straight out there. And
meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Electrician diving on top of Bubbles. The shield will be enough damage to kill him, and despite Magnus coming in, putting out the Lava Surge stun, Electrician just walks away with these. So we're already starting to see the true power of an Electrician played in the right hands, such as Bryce here for Ice. He now has 2 hero kills himself, a 3-0 hero kill advantage here for Ice early on. They got some creep going into the tower, but you just see right there again, he just can dive on top of the tower, not worry too much about it because he has that electric shield up, yet at the same time that electric shield is putting out a good amount of damage. So just a very, very fun hero, and like in the right hands, again, as we're seeing here, just a very powerful hero. Slither also deserves a lot of credit. Obviously, he's been doing a great job at doing the creep pulls in the jungle, and really
look at that
creep wave pushed back.
I just love it. Simple Toxic Ward goes up there and spoils everything Magnus wanted.
Yep. Yep. Those wards, you obviously see those slithers. Obviously, if the opposing team kills them, it is a decent bounty for them. But at the same time, they're great for exposing areas and used as kind of traveling wards, like you said. So with that, they got both Slither and Tundra, both heroes that are very good at keeping sight around not only themselves but really all over the map. So that's just another very positive thing that Ice has to look forward to. And with a hero like Electrician who can take advantage of that sight, go into the jungle, set up some kills with the starting with the static grip. So when you really overall think about it, this is turning out to be a very powerful lineup from Ice, despite being a little bit unorthodox.
Yeah, I'm actually just realised too, as you're talking, how much in this early game nothing has happened for Online Kingdom, and with their lineup, they need it to happen. This is going to get later and later and later. Things that, as you said, are looking better and better for Ice. And I'm starting to get a little bit worried for them. But maybe this now level 6 Pebbles in the middle lane can turn around or try and do something. There's got to be some sort of way of getting on top of these guys, and at the moment they've got to show us the way.
Yeah, and as I was talking about that earlier, both Bubbles and Pebbles, the Pebbles combination, they need levels. At least one of them needed a good amount of levels to start taking over the early game. But that isn't happening, again, because of how the lanes were set up. So, like you mentioned, Flint Beastwood, it's going to come down to him, and whether or not that will be effective enough. Albeit he is getting a very powerful farm up there, of course, being the 2 versus 1 for the most part. But you got to wonder if it is going to be enough, especially with this electrician looking really good. Initiation in the middle and on to Dr. Repulsor right there. The combination will be enough with the assistance of Magnus as well. Out comes a turret, but absolutely going to do nothing. So great kill right there on a Dr. Repulsor. He didn't even have a chance to use his ultimate, which obviously if he gets the chance for that, he'll be fine. Electrician in the meantime, you see him diving way past the tower. And Bubbles, there's just absolutely nothing he can do. He's still level 4. And, what do you do in that case? You need support. The tower is just about dead. There goes the invulnerability. Magnus and Bubbles coming in. They need to be careful themselves, though, not to get caught right here and just let that tower go because, if they tried to deny it, would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's you're so right. Like, Electrician is just so strong. And the second he gets support, even if you have 2 heroes, it's like, no, we need 2 heroes to take care of him. And they've got to try and shut him down somehow, get him behind the 8 ball, because at the moment, he's just snookering these guys left, right, and center. And, Electrician, he's got to get on top of, Electrician, they've got to get on top of him. It's the only way at the moment Online Kingdom are there. They got the kill in the middle. It took 3 heroes to actually do that one, taking out the XP from that. So they just got to keep on tabs of what's actually happening. Pebbles now tossing right towards the middle. The Hex goes off. The miniaturization. Can they actually get it with Pebbles on the back of the haste? Runs himself back out there. But Repulsor should claim 1. He won't claim a second. There is no more energy up his sleeve for that one. And Pebbles does get himself out. But a 1-for-1 trade in the mid.
Yeah, Haste Rune, obviously a very powerful rune. Wow, mixed up our words there. But a very powerful rune on a lot of heroes. And Pebble is definitely a great, perfect example of that. So using it to a great extent right there. But a good job by Dr. Repulsor doing what he can and at least taking out somebody for making what they had happen. We do have initiation down here. Poison spray coming out. Pebbles with the combo. There's finishing off Slither. Dr. Repulsor ports in on top of Pebbles. Wants to be enough damage. Engineer coming in as well. Out comes a turret. Can he stay out of range? He just picked up something else. Trying to survive. Engineer still chasing him. There's a chuck going on. Not going to be enough though. He goes down. And now Electrician trying to run away. And they will get the kill on him. Silver bullet on a draw right there on Tundra. Can Flint Beastwood stay close enough? He uses a health potion. There's a shell and there's a kill on Tundra. Good comeback fight right there from Online Kingdom. It was a lot of momentum early on here for the Legion team in Ice. Online Kingdom just made a lot of good things happen right there.
Yeah, Online Kingdom finally showing us the path that I was asking them to actually do. They did it too. They got a good initiation off. Obviously, sort of put the ward up there and then found himself in a lot of troubles there. Overpowered, try and throw down the smackdown, which didn't pop up for his screen. Obviously, he wants to see that pop up. But it is great. Online Kingdom, they got the timing right. The positioning worked for them. They got a little bit of luck happening around with the Fog of War and just that early initiation and bringing down Slither so fast before that battle even began. And everything's now looking a little bit better for them, but it's still not over. Wow. Ice, they have had a very, very good start. Online Kingdom, they've got to get back on top.
Now, going back to Electrician again, we actually see his items. He chose to go the Plated Greaves. Again, not a very popular boot choice, but on a hero that relies a lot on tankiness, you can't really be too surprised at that. And then also Ring of Sorcery, another very interesting pickup. We rarely see that, if at all. I'm actually checking right now. Again, we are in earlier patches, so I want to be sure how much it is. It is still the old patch or pattern price. I believe they changed it to 200 gold recently, but it's still 525 of this. So even it's still being the older price, early pickup for Electrician. So despite him dying there in the last fight, he is still doing fantastic, of course, and a middle tower push right there. And then you see him use the Ring of Sorcery immediately after. That was such a good item pickup, not only for a hero like Electrician, because he does rely a lot on his mana, of course, but overall, this team, they have a lot of spammable abilities, and having something like that Ring of Sorcery also in Gnome's Wisdom, another very powerful tool for these spammable abilities, and, it just makes a lot of sense. So another just smart pickup, although unorthodox, it makes sense.
Yeah, that does. Well, unorthodox is actually generally what works so well at these LAN events. Because you can throw in your standard builds and people know how to counter them, but if you throw in an unorthodox build, you throw in something which people are just like, hang on, what the hell's going on here? Yeah. Not ready for that. You get tossed off, and it only takes 1 second of indecision, and, things end very, very badly. Looks like Electrician's moved up towards the top lane. Tundra's up there as well, just moving himself around very, very fast. That's so Striders again just coming into play, and they're taking care of that creep wave very, very fast. Engineer's up there, and Dr. Repulsor Repulsor also showing himself. So 4 heroes up there hitting on top of that Hellborn Tier 1 tower. Do they want to go for it at the moment? Even the Toxic Wars just hitting on the back there, pushing Magmas back there. Tower is destroyed, and once again, Electrician in the last hit as well. Can they get the kills? No, we are going to see Magmas fall themselves back here. Those Toxic Wars just so great for harassment, as well as the fact you also had the little beast there of Tundra.
Engineer actually using his ultimate there at the last second. There was a port coming in, of course. They thought he would follow through with it, but it ended up getting canceled. So, kind of a wasted ultimate there, but at the same time, it isn't a long cooldown by any means, so not that big of a deal. But as you said, they got the top tower, so now 3 tower kills for them, still 0 for Online Kingdom, and let alone they haven't been able to apply too much pressure with that said, other than this middle tower, which they do have down to about half-life currently. But this Electrician, again, the focus is on him, of course, but here comes Dr. Repulsor without pointing on top of Bubbles, now pulling now, Tundra from the side, also coming in, put the piercing shards out, and down goes Bubbles right there. Pebbles in the midst of that as well, he's getting caught. Dr. Repulsor right on top of him, keeping it slow. Flint Beast doing as much as possible, it's not going to be enough though. Dr. Repulsor puts right in with his Haste Rune, easy kill for him. I talked about the Haste Rune earlier, very powerful rune on so many heroes, and again, another hero example why.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. Once again, Purify trying to put the call out there for the SmackDown. It was absolutely fantastic. And Pebbles, he just got caught on the wrong side. They tried to prep the gank. Didn't happen in the end. So Lou's actually in a little bit of trouble right now. Looks like Magma's got the Lava Surge off on him. And straight over there, 1 silver ball. It's all you're going to need. And, well, the Witch Slayer does actually have him pushing up the daisies.
That was actually the money shot right there. So Silver Bullet is still, which there still does have a Silver Bullet.
Sorry.
But a good job right there. No, it's not a big deal. I thought it actually might have been a Silver Bullet too, but I had to look at the cooldowns for that. But yeah, so he still has that ultimate, of course, so the money shot with the kill. But so yeah, Online Kingdom, again, they were off to a fairly slow start. Bubbles and Pebbles weren't really getting the greatest. Speaking of Bubbles, by the way, here comes Electrician, but Magma's there to stun, prevent the follow through, but so much damage from Electrician. Look at that AoE damage. They're trying to do so much. It's a 2-versus-1 fight, yet the one player may come out on top. He gets the kill on Magma's right there despite the Bubbles ultimate, and it's not going to matter. He runs away. He has support now, however, but he's still getting locked down. Will he get away? No, there's that Silver Bullet we're talking about with the kill on Electrician, but now Witch Slayer trying to run away. Gets locked down on Engineer. Not going to be enough, though. Down goes Witch Slayer. Engineer going to try to get out of there, but the money shot too much. He goes down as well. And another, in terms of numbers, even exchange, and actually you can definitely argue that OK came out on top of that with a big kill once again on Electrician.
In comes Dr. Repulsor. He doesn't want to end it right now. Tundra also comes up, throws down the shards. They were really thinking of going for that one, but looks like they had second thoughts about that, falling themselves back. But still, great engagements from Online Kingdom. They've been getting themselves in towards the mix here. It is showing 10-8, so Ice is still in front. But considering the lead they actually had, Online Kingdom, they've brought it back to par on par. These battles, they don't go one side. We're not just getting completely ganked out here. Online Kingdom actually have something rolling out for them right now, and that's exactly what they wanted. You need to get yourself balanced, and then you can try and get in front.
Well, like I was talking about, Pebbles and Bubbles, you need at least one of those two to at least get level advantage and start being able to take over. Pebbles is starting to get that. He's now level 10, which is, despite the 2 level 11s in the game, he's next in line and by himself. So he's definitely caught up with that right now. He actually has only that 1 hero kill, but he's been involved in 2 others with those 2 assists. Has died 3 times, so a little bit unfortunate there. We are asking, or Legion team asking for a pause right here, as there we go with Online Kingdom. Pausing the game, so apparently the Electrician is standing still right now, so maybe he's disconnected. I don't know. Somebody had an issue there. It looked like his mouse, might have went out, but apparently he's okay now, so looks like we should be able to resume very shortly. By the way, these 2 teams have had a pretty good time of talking back and forth. Ice is always the confident team.
Yeah, they're very, what's the word, vocal through text, if you can do it that way. Yeah, there's a lot of smack talk between the 2 of them. I don't think there's any real hard feelings for any of it. But obviously, fuel the fire, fuel the rage, and Ice is just one of those teams. They get themselves excited. Well, you heard them screaming out the second they got the first blood. They get themselves pumped up in a great atmosphere, and that's what you get when you come to a LAN event like this.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Ice, as you said earlier with the Bloodlust kill, they showed the emotion. That's awesome. I wish to see more of that, and I hope that we do see a lot of emotion in this event. Something tells me come the semifinals, and then even the finals where $10,000 was on the line for first place, $4,000 for second place. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of emotion there. So Ice is definitely one of those teams. But we are still sitting in this pause, so one of the admins are up there getting it figured out right now. But again, hopefully we are good to go as soon as possible. But let's take a look at the game real quickly once again. In terms of map control, Ice still has that lead, 3-0. So despite Online Kingdom making a little bit of a comeback, starting with Pebbles, as I said, Flint Beast went on top of that. He's been doing nicely. Again, he had that top lane against Tundra. He also had support with Witchslayer not Witchslayer, but Magnus, and so he had support from him and did have a good time as a result of that. So Online Kingdom by no means out of this game, but momentum and push right now is in favor of Ice.
Yeah, that is. I'm just getting very, very worried the later on this game goes. Like, we're sitting at 17 minutes right now, and the more and more Ice players, the stronger they get, everything works nicely for them. Online Kingdom can only keep up for so long. Like, Dr. Repulsor is just one of those completely OP heroes later on, especially when he gets any items on him whatsoever. And he's had a great start. And we've also really got to mention the fact that it's actually not a normal player for Ice. He's actually the substitute from the local area, and the fact they throw him as a carry, you're right when you said early on, it's a very, very surprising thing that they give such an important role to someone who is a substitute, someone been playing with the team for one day.
One match.
One match,
literally one match. Yeah, he played against Dell's first match against TSOG, and like we talked about, he apparently did a damn good job, and that's why they put him on a hero like Dr. Repulsor. We got one person saying sec, we got another person saying go, so I'm not sure what's going on yet. But, honestly, from my point of view, it's hard to argue because I've seen, although I definitely do agree with you, Dr. Repulsor is a very powerful hero, and we have seen many, many times where he just truly takes over the game. Again, we talk about that permaban style hero, he definitely is that. But Flint Beast, we have seen him be very, very powerful with a very good farm. And Black, throughout this game, like we keep talking about going back to, he has had a fairly good farm. So as long as Online Kingdom can stick into this, they definitely will have a chance. But I would be more so worried about Electrician, to be honest. You already know how to deal with Dr. Repulsor. Again, they have that silence from Bubbles and good lockdown from a hero like Pebbles. If they get that open on him, they can definitely take him out. But Electrician is honestly, if I was Online Kingdom, I would be scared about him. Not only because, it's Bryce playing him, plays him so well, and he's already been playing so well, but he's a hero that you're just not used to at the same time.
Yeah, he definitely is. And he is like one of those heroes, but you've got to keep your eyes open. We're going to big shout out to Papa Dre, who's trying to actually screen cheat himself at the moment. Actually, as they all should be watching this one, tossing Bubbles actually into the mix. That was a little bit of a friendly pat in the butt, throwing him into the creep line here. There's still a bit of a catch out here, but we're all good. just see pings flying off on the edge of the mini map. It's like, oh, what's happening? Oh, no, it's nothing. It's nothing. Maybe. We're fine.
Maybe, just maybe. No, we do have Dr. Repulsor again, though, just farming the bottom lane down here, opening up here. Magnus using the Steam Bath, actually. Poison Spray comes out from Slither right on top of him, and it looks like for now they're going to turn around that pet from Tundra doing a bit of slowing damage. Here comes the Electrician. There's the initiation, though, from the Hellborn team. And comes the Engineer ultimate. Pebbles is dropping fast. He's going to get locked down. Down he goes. Out comes the Bubbles ultimate as well, keeping them in place. Magnus stunning in. Now trying to run away, though. There's a kill happening on somebody else. Tundra got sniped over there, but here's Electrician. Just so much AoE damage. Chasing down Magnus right now. Can he stay in range? Of course he can. Magnus will be going down right here. Bubbles is like, I tried, man, but there's not much more I can do, buddy. Here comes Dr. Repulsor out at the same time, and now Bubbles in a lot of trouble. A panic port right there. He did not port too far, pulling in Flint Beast now, and here comes a static grid from Electrician. No silence out for Bubbles off for the time being in 1 second. The chase, though, on Flint Beast right here, though, and Electrician will get the kill. And now Bubbles, he needs to worry about getting out there. Dr. Repulsor is fairly low, choosing not to go in, not worth it, but a great job there in the end. As I talked about, Electrician is the hero that I honestly would be worried about, and we just saw why once again right there. He's so good at cleaning up, just overall the time, similar to a Sandwraith, especially against that Mako Brilliance. Early on, it's not going to be a lot of burst damage, it's not going to be a lot of damage coming out, but as the fight goes on, everyone's dropping low, you're wondering what the hell's going on, and soon enough he just cleans up.
Yeah, he is just one of those little things. You don't know it's really hitting you until you just said, oh, hang on, no, he's sitting right next to me. Crap. So they're just going to go from there. They're going to try and target him down because they've got that problem, but then you do have Dr. Repulsor can jump in there, just pull him out there, and it's really like the main carry for Ice is the fact it's Electrician, but Dr. Repulsor is like one of the best distractions you can throw into it. It's like the perfect combination they can run right now. Everyone loves the electricity hero, so we'll just see how we can actually go. The mid lane is still being pushed here as Tundra can easily do it. Engineers was trying to push it with the toxic wards flying down as well. It's really controlling this map, but all lanes are being pushed here from Online Kingdom. Beastwood forced to move up towards the top lane to try and defend it, and Pubbles helping him out there with one shell fly over the top there. But as far as all the tier 2 towers go, they're all under pressure, and that's great support work from Ice to keep all those lanes actually pressured up. You don't actually have to move yourself out. The wards are holding in the mid lane there from Elon. They're just right on top of it there. They can move the heroes around and then keep all the pressure on all the lanes and really force Online Kingdom to try and come out and fight on the turf, which Ice has literally claimed.
Yeah, again, the map control right now, as we keep going back to, clearly in favor of Ice at this point. And it really fits their team well. As we said from the very beginning, they have a very good vision team. Between Slither and Tundra, starting with them, they get a lot of vision throughout the map, on top of course, the wards of sight that you can be sure that they are placing. And then a very gank-oriented lineup with that set on top of that. Of course, they're going to be able to take advantage of all that sight. Heroes like Dr. Repulsor, like Electrician, can take a big-time advantage. Another thing to know, Electrician, another reason why I'd be scared right now is because he's still sitting on that Mighty Blade. He had that going into that last fight. So you got to know he has something saved up. He's probably looking to buy something big. What he decides to build, I mean, going with that Mighty Blade, you would think it would be a Shrunken Head, honestly. There's a good amount of magic damage from this Legion, or Hellborn team, but more so just all the CC and crowd control. So that would more than likely be the case, but we'll see eventually when it gets that picked up. But the Ring of Sorcery, I honestly am shocked we do not see them item more often. We're seeing right here how powerful it can be, and it's definitely been a big factor for this Legion team.
Yeah, it definitely has. As looks like all the teams having a bit of a quiet time now. I think they've all just gone home for a bit of rest and recuperation. They think it's like, no, we're on a break right now. But it's not really that. They're just moving themselves out of the lanes. The lanes are already pressured. So now is your farm time. Now is your time to try and get back what you've lost so many times during this match already. Like 14 to 11. It's still a couple of kills down, but it will really hurt a couple of those guys which died a little bit more than everyone else. Like if you throw it down there, you look at Jay, you look at Milorn, they've died 3 times themselves. And for Magix, once again, he's 1 for 4 with 4 assists. He bottomed out at 0 for 10, I think he was, in his original match. So he's going to try and find that ground back again and actually make himself one of those heroes that can really be a part of this game.
Yeah, definitely. So, he has been growing, though, throughout the game. And so, again, at least he's recovered very nicely and throughout this game. We ended up going on Dr. Repulsor. Dr. Repulsor gets annihilated right away. Shrunken Head used up by Electricity. He finally finished it on top of Witchlight now, locking him down. Out comes the ultimate on top of Kingdom's Load. There's a kill. And just, again, that AoE damage coming out of the Bobbles ultimate. But there's an Engineer ultimate, not doing too much, but it's going to prevent Magnus from... No, he will still stun in. Will be able to clean up on Tundra, but again, Electrician just hanging around. Engineer going down. Money shot. Yes, it's going to get the kill. But Electrician, the AoE damage going to tick down Magnus' life right here, despite being in the Steam Bath. The War is going to do the job, actually. Bubbles now porting in, and Electrician is on the run right here, and he does not have any support other than Slither, throwing out some wards, who's also very low himself, and it looks like that's going to be that battle, but the initiation from the Hellborn team, so they cleaned up fairly well. The pick on Dr. Repulsor, an excellent start for them, but the Electrician AoE damage too much. A little bit, the Engineer ultimate, I'm sure he had every reason why he didn't put off so early, but he seemed to wait a little bit. Maybe he was getting locked down, but something caused him to not get that ultimate off earlier. You got to wonder if it was off earlier, this fight might have been a little bit different.
Yeah, we can have a lot of what ifs, just like what if Online Kingdom, if Bubbles actually went to his shell and tried to actually bring down that last retreating hero, because Flint Blizzard was doing a hell of a lot of damage. He just needed one hero to support him over the top. Didn't happen, and there's always what ifs in a game, but we can judge it from the commentary seat here. But when you're actually these players, you've got the pressure on the main stage as well. Like, it's not easy to be up there. You've got people in your ear, like our voices are going through their ears at the moment, the atmosphere of the crowd going up there too, and you're on display for the entire world right now. It's a lot of pressure, and making decisions under that pressure, it's not that easy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's always a good point to bring up here in the Lancey. We have Dr. Repulsor in a lot of trouble right here. There goes the double CC, the Silver Bolt, and the money shot as well. And another pick on Dr. Repulsor once again from Online Kingdom. Nothing you could do there, really. I mean, that was just a good opening. Unless he avoided the Graveyard Stone initially, it's that chain CC from the Legion team was just well played, and just the 2 ultimates. Obviously, a lot of burst damage here between the money shot, Silver Bullet, got the kill. So Dr. Repulsor is back-to-back times now. He gets picked off early on. Engineer missing its Kexon right there. Going to throw out the turret, also misplacing it, and in the end, Flint Fisa will be able to run back just fine. So Engineer tries to set up the gank, not successful, but Tundra going to clean up the creep wave now here. By the way, Tundra, as you talked about, going to be going for Puzzle Box, it looks like. He has his Neophyte's Book and Bolstering Armband. And, going up against a hero like a Magnus who uses a Steam Bath a lot of the time as an invis to try to get away and whatnot, or try to sit in it. Obviously, that'll prevent that as well as soon as that gets level 3, on top of being a great counter-warding ability at this point. But that Shrunken Head on the Electrician, that's also, we saw that last fight, how powerful it definitely was. And I'm sure the Hellborn team, of course, now going to keep that in mind. But Online Kingdom, they are doing a really good job of locking down Dr. Repulsor lately, and he really hasn't been doing too much throughout this game, which is why he's on that high tier of ban status.
Yeah, that definitely hits us up. Well, everything was just flashing up there on the top there. The Toxic Wards all getting brought down up on the high ground as Slither's just trying to keep not only the ability to actually do damage and slow, but to also keep that vision and try and see where Online Kingdom are moving so they can be ready for this one. Pressure is still being applied towards this top lane. It's going to be really hard to push it down until they take out the team, because if that happens, then, well, everything's going to go nicely. Flint Beastwood even now joining up here on the top lane, so Pebbles, Bubbles, as well as the Beastwood, all ready to rock and roll. And, well, it appears that, well, I don't think Ice really want to show themselves at all, apart from Electrician down the mid lane.
Well, yeah, Magmister and all that actually at the top lane has been busy at the bottom lane. You got to figure he wants to get that portal key. I mean, obviously a very powerful tool on him on that style of hero, and if he can get that portal key, it sets up some nice Lava Surge stuns as well as some great initiations with his ultimate. So again, as it will be a very, very good pickup once he does get that. So of course we'll keep an eye on that and see how he's progressing. Bubbles on the same end as well. He has recovered nicely. I mean, you have to remember, keep in mind the situation he was in at the beginning of the game and for most of the early game, really. So he too, just like Pebbles, have both recovered, and we've seen, like, going back to the picks on Dr. Repulsor have been huge, and they continue. They've done it now 2 or 3 times. So Dr. Repulsor is getting slowed down as a result of that. Speaking of Dr. Repulsor, we've yet to see really anything crazy on him working towards his first big item. He's just been sitting on those steam boots and a couple of the intellect initial items. As just blanking on the name right now. Let's go. Talisman of XL. That's correct. So that's also another hero. You know, Shuriken Head on him, very likely a popular item choice as well, simply because we talked about earlier with Electrician, him already getting the Shuriken Head. Dr. Repulsor really reliant on being able to move around. If he cannot move around, if he gets locked down, what can he do? So Shuriken Head, it is an option. We'll see if that's what, again, the ringer for Ice here goes for being played by Purifier. We do have initiation up here. Slither's going to be taken out. However, he was bait right here for Electrician. The ultimate goes down from Slither. Pebbles will be dying here. How much damage, though, can they do on Electrician is the question before he goes down. Out comes the Magma's ultimate on top of it, but Electrician going to take a minimal damage, though. Again, that shield just does so much right there. The Shuriken Head being used, wearing off right there, though. Magma's trying to get away. Not going to happen, though. The lockdown right there. Dr. Repulsor supporting in. Tundra is low, but he's not going to go down. Witcher going down. Bubbles not trying to run away. The slow, though, the electric grip, and he, too, will be going down. And Flint Beast with a Soul Survivor now at the bottom lane. Gonna try to use a tower to not be dove on right here, but the Legion team, we'll see. It doesn't look like it for now, at least. And Flint Beast will just have to give up on that. He does have his Geometer's Bane, which we did see in that fight, but that's bait for you. Slither, he was out there. It's like, come on, guys, jump me. And sure enough, they did. Good follow-up from the Legion team.
Everything was going so well just then, and you're right, perfect bait, came right on top of it, and they claimed 4 heroes for the one Slither they had to lose, and and Engineer as well. It's just, yeah, things aren't looking good, as well as the top lane once again getting harassed themselves back there. Flint Beastwood using his illusions actually there for a moment, but the tier 2 tower does go down. They get themselves pushed back, and Online Kingdom, they're in a very, very sticky situation right now. They're being forced back, they're losing all the farm, the entire map control is all going to Ice, and not to mention that they need to win this game. If they lose this game, they go 1 down.
Yeah, they lose this game. You know, it's like I was talking about earlier. There really isn't much of a chance for them. Possible they could, at the best, it would be a 3-way tie. You don't want to let it go to that again.
Well, at the moment, TSOG, they'll be actually going to be thinking about it too, because if Ice take this out, they're 2-0. That's not going to look good if EG also take out their second game as well. That's 2-0, and you've basically got your teams going out through the first bracket.
Yeah, we don't know the results of the TSOG versus EG match.
That is
true.
But
again, obviously, they are watching, I'm sure, and trying to make sure of what's going on in this game to see if there's a, depending on what happened. Again, we don't know what happened, so we'll have to wait and see. Get some information on that after the match. But so back to this match now. Again, we're kind of back in that, let's sit back and get some more farm going on. Obviously, more so in favor of the Legion team. It starts with the map control. They still have, well, no, they did lose the top tower, excuse me, but other than that, only losing 1 tower, 29 plus minutes into the game, I think you can handle that. Brized again on this Electrician, so he's had that Shrunken Head for a while now. He's been getting a lot of farm, a lot of hero kills, was involved in that last team fight, stayed alive. What is he buying next? That's just always in Online Kingdom's mind, I'm sure. And again, we will keep an eye on that and see what he decides to go for. Let's take a look around at more items that have been picked up, perhaps. We see Flint Beastwood. He's actually finished his Ice Brand, as you can see, tanking the top lane up here, getting some free farm for the time being. So, as I talked about, Flint Beastwood, very popular item build. Geometer's Bane, Frostwolf Skull combination, both no doubt will be very effective, as always. Dr. Repulsor getting a Blessed Ore for the time being. Several items, of course. Could be a Nullstone, from a Nullstone to to a, well, I'm blanking, to a sheep stick. Either one I could honestly see being pretty effective here. Nullstone, you do have a lot of heroes on this Hellborn team. Silver Bullet, Money Shot, the Chuck from Pebbles prevents him from doing his combo. Several abilities that would make it effective. On the other hand, though, whenever you're going up against a Witch Slayer, good Witch Slayers, they'll get that level 1 in Mana Drain and use it against a Nullstone. So curious to see what Dr. Repulsor decides to go for with that Blessed Orb.
Yeah, it is. It's always hard when you're Dr. Repulsor. What kind of item build do you actually go for? Do you like try and keep yourself up, keep your health up, keep your energy up, because that basically gives you your ultimate more power? Or do you try not to get yourself the sheep stick? Do you try and get the Hex on? You're right. It's one of those things where it all comes down to the style of game you want to play. At the moment, there is so much farm going on. We're like 30 minutes into this game, and Tier 2 towers are still standing up for the team who is really under pressure as well. That's all props to Online Kingdom for actually holding them off so far. But ICE, they can push whenever they wanted to here. So this is just basically the game style that they're deciding to actually play. 21-17. You've got to also keep in mind too, if things do get leveled up here, the longer your game plays, the less kills you've actually got, the worse you are off if you actually find yourself in a tie.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about that earlier. That's the last thing. You never want to let it get to a tie, because you're not going to be happy with the outcome more than likely. And only one of those three teams, if we do have a three-way tie, would make it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, though. Flint Beast falling all the way back to his base, because the creep wave all the way into the base, doing a little bit of damage there at that bottom tower. So Legion team, of course, getting that advantage now, more so of the map advantage, and getting the creep pushes even working out for them. We saw that level 1 Tundra box was finished on Tundra for a little bit now, so again, he has that to work with as well. I'm expecting to get that level 3 as soon as possible, and makes it a very great, and he's also a really good hero at counter warding in general, simply because he has that pet as the range and can pick off the wards while he goes and does something else. So of course, I'm sure he'll be able to use it for that of effectiveness as well. Portal Key also picked up on Bubbles now, so this Hellborn team really getting Portal Key heavy. Magnus, Bubbles, and Pebbles all with the Portal Key at this point. So Legion team has confidence, as I'm sure they are. They are in a very good spot. You look at overall stats and whatnot, but at the same time, those 3 Portal Keys, they can really catch you off guard, and they can make you easily down a man or two.
Yeah, it's like we saw early on in the match, Online Kingdom, they're getting themselves behind, but they just got that great initiation to start them off. Those Portal Keys are going to make the initiation straight for them. Now finally a bit of a push coming out here to try and claim their second Tier 1 tower, if they can do it. But Electrician running straight out here, falling themselves back, and Flint Beastwood did not want to have a crack here, but Electrician, he's a very intimidating source right there at the front, especially with that shrunken head. Pebbles just throwing the shell straight over the top, wants to have a look at a good look at that Legion team, but yeah, well, now that's the entire Online Kingdom side ready to push this middle lane. So keep your eyes open, boys and girls. This could get nasty.
That's unfortunate right there for Electrician. I mean, a lot of people obviously, it is a fairly long cooldown for that Shrunken Head. He used it a little bit earlier. Obviously, nothing happened of it. But something else to keep in mind, I mean, it starts off with an 8-second cooldown, I believe it is. And then it goes down from there down to 5 seconds the more you use it. So, it's one of those, it's unfortunate they used it, because not only did it cost a cooldown, but now it's going to be a second less the next time up. But he has picked up a Nullstone, as we see. And we're talking about that on Dr. Repulsor. A very good pickup as well on a hero like Electrician. It'll prevent a good amount of that CC on top of that, of course, on top of the Shrunken Head when it is on cooldown. And as a result, he's still playing very, very aggressive right now. And also on top of the fact he does have a good chunk of life, of course, and is quite the tanky hero. But the Hellborn team, they're all kind of sitting around here. We're having one of those good old-fashioned Mexican standoffs here with both teams just kind of staring at each other. Not sure who's going to react first, but if you had to pick a team, of course, it would probably be the Hellborn team, as we talked about those 3 Portal Keys spread throughout them. A lot of pressure being applied to this middle tower. The Hellborn team, at the very least, wants to get it. Here we go, though. Magnus is going to jump in, stunning on the Slither, then ports away immediately. Electrician, in the meantime, by himself. Here comes the Kegstone now. He is out in front. He has a Shrunken Head once again, doing a lot of AoE damage. Down goes Pebbles right there. Dr. Repulsor comes in, snipes somebody down as well. Bubble's going to drop low. He will eventually go down. And Flint Beastwood, in the meantime, he's just going to run away. Not worth him being there. Witchslayer's going to try to get away. Might not be so lucky, though. The Statter Game came out. He used the Nullstone proc right there with the Manager. We were talking about that earlier, and that might have actually bought him enough time. A great job by Witchslayer right there, remembering to use the Mana Drain first. He did did not use his Silver Bullet, though, throughout that fight. Whenever a Witchslayer in a team fight like that does not use a Silver Bullet, you know that definitely wasn't a good team fight for you.
No, that was a horrendous team fight at the end of it. And look at that Tier 2 tower, just goes straight down. Engineer right on top of it as well. And now the Creep Wave can push themselves into that Tier 3 tower. Flint Beastwood is there to defend. Witchslayer won't be too far off as well, but there's just so much pressure that can now be applied. Tier 2 tower down, the Tier 3 tower is open, so is basically the entrance into the front base of the Hellborn. And, well, you don't want anyone going up over that lip, and Black is right there. He knows what this is all about. He's there, he's going to wipe out that Creep Wave, push it back out again. again, because this is going to buy time. There's going to buy a lot of time for Ice to move themselves around, get back into those neutrals, keep those resources which don't get used all the time, not the ones that come from the lanes, to actually get that up here and try and push out these lanes as well. Engineer's up there on the top because he's being joined by the Electrician, and they can easily push that one back out again. Saw a couple of heroes just forming up before in that middle lane here from Online Kingdom. Now 1, now 2, now 3, now 4, all exposing themselves. Magic gets the last hit as well. So very, very quick snipe of that tier 1 tower in the mid.
Yeah, so Online Kingdom finally to take care of a couple of towers here. They're asking for a pause. Apparently there's a hardware error, so they have to. Online Kingdom has to pause it, I believe, because I think Legion Team is in fact even out of pauses at this point. But so there we go with the pause, and hopefully we can get that figured out as soon as possible. But again, Online Kingdom, you know, they are making a nice little comeback here, and it has been a very, very good game, a solid game. But throughout this whole game, Ice has had the momentum. They have had the advantage, starting with that Electrician. Dr. Pulsar is only going to get beefier and beefier. You talked about that early on. You know, he's one of those heroes. If you do let him get a little bit too out of hand, into the later game especially, he will just portal over the place and just pick you off left and right. So not a fun hero to play against, especially in the later game. And we are kind of getting to that stage. However, Black is getting a very good farm. As we talked about, he's working on that Frostwolf Skull. He very likely may have that soon. He also picked up that Glowstone recently, so we'll have that soon. Is it going to be enough, though, is the question. Do they have enough damage? They no doubt need to be able to get the jump, but at the same time, even if they get the jump like we've seen a couple of times now, Legion Team has a good reaction team in the sense that they use 1 or 2 abilities and they can kind of hold it off. It starts with that, of course, with that Engineer ultimate, and then Electrician. He puts up that shield. If you're all jumping in, collapsing around him, all that AoE damage is going to be going off. So it's a really difficult spot to be in for Online Kingdom.
Yeah, it is, and nothing's going right with them. Even then, just the Hawk coming out there from Tundra just showed up all 3 heroes moving around that middle lane, and there's just nothing which can be prepped for them. They're inside the forest and thinking, oh, maybe we might see a bit of a push out, and just one simple scout from Tundra, and everything is spoiled. They really need to try and initiate this one. As we already see a stun coming out here from Bubbles, being held in place right now. They're keeping it going. The keys are going up, but Magmus goes right in the middle with a massive eruption in it. Can they actually claim on top here? They've got one. Can they get a second? Tundra now finally gets done from the side, but it does actually cost them a couple. Repulsor's caught in there too. Tiny trying to fall himself back there, so the great wall placement slowing them down. Bubbles still fighting it off hard here. Dies on the way out, though, the Dr. Repulsor. Nowhere to go. Pebble's going to TP out. Not going to be enough time. Gets killed by the Electrician, just being close on by. Only one hero left alive. Can he kill these last 2 boys from Online Kingdom? Black is TPing out, but what a pull! It's going to stop Black from TPing. He has to run. He has to run. It's not enough. 1-on-1, and just going to retreat himself back out there. Bubbles is not wanting to do this one, and Electrician, confidence with a capital B.
We talked about that earlier. Ice especially, they're known for a team of cockiness, and kind of showing it right here. But Bryce, honestly, he is very built up, and he is looking very impressive. He's going to be a very, very hard hero to deal with, and we keep going back to the Legion team as a whole, a very powerful team on top of that. The thing about that fight, though, Electrician was not there from the very beginning. I was watching all the action with you, so I'm not sure where he was. I did see him going through the Legion jungle, or Hellborn jungle, earlier on, so I'm guessing he just walked over there and finally got there later on, but he wasn't even there in the beginning, and still he was able to clean up for the team. So again, we're kind of seeing the power of him, even if he comes a little bit later, just that overall damage. He's one of those heroes, 3 versus 1, you figure they could turn around and pick him off, but because of how tanky he is and how much AoE damage he can spread and put out, it makes it a difficult situation to be in. And well, sure enough, we saw right there, it ended up getting turned around on them, and Electrician did a great job of cleaning up. So right now, 28-21 hero kill advantage in favor of Ice. So Online Kingdom, they keep on hanging in there. By no means are going to call this game over, but Ice just seems to keep on capitalizing off the small things. And as I talked about earlier, it's going to be really difficult for Online Kingdom to make a comeback here. They keep going back to this middle lane. They want to keep it farm, but at this point, again, with the map advantage, they're just trying to get farm wherever they can.
Yeah, they are. Even that, Tiny getting himself in towards the middle, goes for a couple of hits, and Tundra just throws out the shards and just yeah, you know what, I can still stay on top of this one. What I really want to see at the moment now is how far Ice can actually take this one. They're winning the engagements. They still haven't got the racks. The racks is a big thing. If they manage to actually claim the racks, then they actually have something in this game. But if they don't, then you're still going to give time for Online Kingdom to come out. It's a very, very fast departure by Magmus outside the Kongor pit. Electrician ran up there. It was a very, very, very quick portal to get himself out of the trouble there. So even that, look at the sight. Jar is right there, Shiver is right on top of it, and Kongor, there is no way you can really go for him without being seen.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the whole Slither the Tundra talk earlier. Kongor, despite them being the Hellborn side, which a lot of people like to, and it pretty much is proven that they do have somewhat of a slight advantage as a result of being the Hellborn to the map advantage for it, but against a team makeup like this, I don't know if you can say that in this game specifically, because again, the vision that this Legion team is going to have, and so Kongor, it's going to be difficult for really both of these teams to do for those situations we just pointed out. So as a result, we kind of see both teams now pointing out once again and actually getting some more kills in here. Electrician currently farming the bottom lane. By the way, Nullstone was finished on Dr. Post. I hadn't mentioned that yet, but he was in that last team fight with it, so of course he chose to go that route. Again, Shrunken Head, I would not be surprised on top of that. As well, in terms of which I would prefer to go initially, it's debatable. I mean, we already talked about they do have a lot of single target abilities, but they also do have that mana drain from Witchslayer, which we have seen him, in fact, already use to get rid of Nullstone. So it's kind of a give and take situation, but in the end, he did choose to go Nullstone. We'll see if he eventually goes for Shrunken Head on top of that.
Yeah, that we will, as we just have a bit of clarification from down the pit for what match will be coming up here next on the stage. You will find that out later after this match. Obviously, mid lane getting defended. Now, 4 heroes actually being committed here from Online Kingdom to make sure they can hold this middle area. Actually, 5 showing themselves ever so quickly there. There's just like so much is on the defense for Online Kingdom. I was talking to them after they lost to EG earlier on, and they literally just said there was nowhere safe to move out. They just didn't know where they could go. Is there anywhere we can push where we can actually feel safe from this map? But now with the tier 2 tower going down the top lane by Ramza, it's very, very hard to go anywhere. That Electrician, he's going to be coming in nice and fast. The Mock of Brilliance being up on him, there is nowhere to hide. He'll just basically follow you and he'll kill you. You said he literally had a portable Mock of Brilliance on top of him. Yeah. Stack that now, he has the real thing.
Yeah, he's going to be doing a lot of AoE damage, which is the overall goal of the hero, of course, starting with that electric or energy absorption, which we both talked about earlier on, kind of being a Mock of Brilliance in terms of talents. So now that he has the actual item itself, just going to be very worrisome here for the Hellborn team, as right now they are kind of just forced, in a sense, to play very, very back in their base, pretty much sitting at the base towers and really doing what they can to make a little bit of a pushback here and again increase the farm as much as possible. Flint Busa, by the way, he's finished his Frost of Skull, so at least they got that. Other than that, though, I mean, they really don't have much to look at and be all too, happy about. Pebbles has picked up a Warp Clef, so very likely going for a Demonic Breastplate, but again, really, other than that, you look around at all the heroes, nothing really standing out at this point. So the lack of farm as a team overall definitely showing. We keep going back to Flint Beachwood. Individually, he is doing a very good job, but obviously it is a 5-versus-5 team game, and he can be doing a hell of a job, but if his team isn't doing all too great on the side of him, you can only expect so much.
Yeah. You can't expect too much from all the heroes, but yeah, playing as a team it is so true. Like this is such a team sport, and a lot of people got to realize the fact that you can't. This isn't just a 1v1. Like Electrician is so damn strong. He's so damn strong, but he's still got to rely on his teammates there. If they're not there, then Online Kingdom can get themselves on top. If he goes down, then the rest of the teammates, they're in a lot of trouble because they have lost that big strength ability and DPS that will come from him, and they have to make up for it in other ways. And well, that's why you just work as a team. You cover each other's backs, and that's exactly what's happening now with Online Kingdom. 4 heroes, they're all hanging around that middle section. They don't want to actually lose a single man, and they're just going to keep right on top of it. It's not helping with the fact those toxic walls are keeping up here. Silence goes off. Magnus is pulled in. Repulsor jumps up the back there, wants to get Witchslayer off here while Magnus is being targeted by the rest of the army coming on through. Witchslayer is actually still alive. Goes for the miniaturization there on Tundra, trying to still fall back there. Slither hanging around. The blast coming from the side. Bubbles is now caught back up. One kick moves him even closer to death. In fact, he's all the way there. Black as well as Magic, the only 2 left alive, having to retreat all the way inside their base. Tier 3 tower is now open. Toxic Wars being dropped down on that Tier 3 tower. It's not going to take long before that will actually die. Bubbles is back up again. They're thinking about going. The Glyph now firing off. Wants to buy them a little bit of time. Bubbles with a shell flying up the top. He's not going to go after that one. That's a big team all ready to fight. They've all still got basically full health. Tier 3 tower goes down. Rakdos become exposed, and there's only so much you can do. And the question is, will they push it? Electrician, he's quite happy to do so. so, is the rest of his team going to do so as well, Breaky?
Bubbles, bot back right there. So this is, they know themselves. This is a huge push. If this push goes through, it very likely looks like it is going to happen. The melee Rax goes down. There goes the range Rax. Losing your middle Rax like that at this point of the game, this is fairly late, obviously, 44 minutes in now. But for this, really, Online Kingdom trying to make a comeback. Losing that, though, that's going to be so difficult at this point to try to come back now from this. Their middle is completely cleared out. So now they have to worry about their middle lane always getting pushed in from the creep waves. On top of that, you get less farm from the middle creeps now as a result of those Rax kills. So there's just a lot of negatives that come out of it. And so, of course, the Legion team, I'm sure Ice is as confident and cocky as they always are. I'm sure they're just that much more right now with the way this game is going currently and after that scenario that happened right there. Going back to that team fight, though, I mean, ultimately, it was just a really good pick by the Legion team. They got Magmus picked out right there. It was a great engineer ultimate. It happened to catch Magmus. They followed it up, and sure enough, eventually took him out. And then Dr. Pulsar also did a great job of getting in there and really distracting them. I mean, he kind of ported around. He made several OK players, including Flint Beast, who kind of second guess on who they wanted to focus fire. And it seemed like Online Kingdom was more worried just about it just running away at that point than actually necessarily saving each other or even going into a team fight. So the early pick on Magmus started that, and just momentum fell through for Ice once again. So the Mockery Brilliance on Electrician, also I'm sure did a lot of damage there. You also see him now picking up a plate mail. It would just be so great if he now picks up a Frost Shield plate. You talk about a lot of AoE damage. I mean, that just will definitely add to it.
Yeah, they need to... Boy. Yeah, smooth. Yeah. Absolutely smooth. We'll go with that one. Yeah. Bottom lane actually being pushed back out again now. Online Kingdom trying to gain some sort of pressure down the bottom. Congo has been on the minds of both these teams for such a long time too. They want to get that Aegis. They want to have that little ace up their sleeve. And if Online Kingdom can actually get that, then extra 200 gold for everyone. You get a little bit more there. But the biggest thing is you can actually finally play a 6v5. Yeah. When you actually come back to life again. Spam everything you got up there. Of course, in saying that, you're going to see Ice. They'll target it off there. They'll do what they possibly can. And it is a very, very big thing to try and claim here. Online Kingdom, though, managed to actually clear out that bottom lane with the help of Beastwood being there. And if they can actually come off with the goods, still going to push out the lanes a little bit further if they actually want to try and get anything off. But maybe. Electrician's a very, very mini-sized him. So just hanging around that secret shop just outside the Kongor pit. And, Online Kingdom, there's only so many times they can literally play a do-si-do.
Here they go. They try to initiate, but the Stricken was used by Electrician, turns it around, and Pebble's in a lot of trouble. Going to throw the Stalagmites just as the Stricken wears off. Will it be enough to get away, though? The dot damage doing a lot. Here comes the Magmus ultimate now. Only on Electrician, though. He runs away. Here comes the rest of the Legion team looking to clean out. Magmus will get picked up. Down goes Witchlight. Down goes Bubbles. And the Legion team could very likely end the game right here. Flint Beast using the Geometry Vein in the base. Pebbles goes down. Hat-trick coming out for Purify right there. The Doctor Repulsor player, and in the end, Flint Beast just going to fall back to base. He throws out a money shot, taking down Tundra a little bit, but this will be a bottom push right here from the Legion team. So they did get the Kongor kill right before all of that as well. So Electrician bought enough time before that. They get the catch on Flint Beast. Well, that's going to be a kill. Genocide for the Legion team, and Ice Gaming should be victorious right here.
There's a GG.
There's the GG's coming out, and they will move on to be 2-0 here in Group A, and I believe that pretty much guarantees them with their next match being against EG. No matter what, they're going to be moving on to the semifinals. I'm not 100% on that, but I'll stay away from that. But anyways, they're in a very good spot, to say the least.
Yeah,
moving on to the semifinals.
You're right. It's an awesome position, but Ice coming through like this one. They weren't one of the main DYA teams. They won the American tournament. They won themselves a ticket to actually come to this event, and they've really come to play hard. That's absolutely fantastic play from them one. Of course, we will be coming back here very, very soon. We'll have our China versus Malaysia match coming up. So the first match we've actually covered from round 2 will be coming up to you very, very soon. We'll also have more results for you as well, so you can find out who's going to be there. And after this last match too, we will have it confirmed who will be our semi-finalists here for the Digital Youth Awards.
Yeah, so anyways, again, I thank you guys for tuning into that match, of course. As we just saw, Ice defeated Online Kingdom there. They moved to 2-0 now here in the round-robin group stage. Online Kingdom, 0-2. It's their next matchup is against TSOG, and if I do my math correctly, again, it does come down to how EG finished, but it's at the very least, again, it's not going to look good for them, and we'll see what happens. But we are in Singapore now. All these teams in Singapore, Malaysia, fun city. At the very least, going to have some fun with that. But I'm sure Online Kingdom is a little bit disappointed after the loss right there. ISO, you talk about a story. Josh, he did not come, unfortunately, as we talked about, due to health issues, health concerns. They got a ringer here from Singapore. He looked pretty damn good that game. I mean, he was in both games. games. And
what timing for him to actually gel so well with a team like that? Like it's very, very hard to actually to achieve something like that just off the cuff. But he's done it beautifully. He played a great carry. He played good distraction. Great electrician as always. I think that's now going to be a permanent ban on the ice line. Just respect.
Yeah, it's so funny how Bryce he made electrician big in the first place at the first LAN event actually in DreamHack. That's really where it really took off. Next LAN event here, DYA, 6 months later, he's doing it again. And sure enough, wouldn't be surprised to see him banned in the future in this tournament. Anyways, that's going to do it. As Ice defeats, once again, Online Kingdom, they are now 2-0 in the group stage, looking to be in a very, very good spot. But talk about a matchup coming up, Ice versus EG. That's going to be a good one. And again, depending on how EG did against TSOG, it could be a match of 2-0s, but we'll see.
That's right. You'll be able to check that one out later. But, of course, we will actually have Asian Hon coming up very, very soon.
Yeah, we will.
China versus Malaysia. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a second.